I've got something going on in the shop today that I've wanted to do for quite a while. I'm going to test out various kinds of drywall anchors. Behind me, I've got a very simple machine hooked up to a fish scale. I'm going to put in drywall anchors into this drywall, connect the fish scale to it, lift up, and see just how many pounds of pressure it takes to rip those drywall anchors out of the drywall. This is a fairly low-tech way of testing. Because I'm using a fish scale, the problem I have is that it requires that I have consistent weight on the hook for several seconds before it registers. And that's just not possible in this case. So I'm going to keep a camera trained on the screen, and that'll make it possible to see the highest number that registers. Okay, so it may seem strange to go to all this trouble for something as mundane as drywall anchors, but it can be confusing when you go to a hardware store and see everything that's available. They can, however, be broken down into several different categories. For instance, some types of anchors are very invasive. They may require drilling holes, but they hold a lot of weight. Other types are less invasive, although they may hold less weight. Is the weight being pulled straight out from the anchor, or is it being pulled in a shear or a downward fashion? And is the object static like a picture or a mirror would be? Or is it being tugged on like a coat or a towel rack would be? Every test here will be done with a shear pull and will be split up between invasive and non-invasive types. As I was setting this all up, I decided to try the most common of anchors, the nail. Here I have a nail with a head and another headless or finishing nail. Nails have a minimal invasiveness, and the nail with the head kept my pull from slipping off. The failure weight was 41.36 pounds. But as I watched the video closer, I noticed that it actually started failing much sooner. Now I was going back and watching not only the fail, but how they failed. Since I wasn't sure where to start, I decided to measure only the actual fail. Keep in mind that things can go bad sooner, but maybe this is a good thing because it kind of gives you an early warning. With no head to hold on to, the finishing nail failed at 26.35 pounds. Still pretty impressive. And notice that the nail with the head actually bent when it was pulled out. I went back about 4 times and tried this over again, and it bent the same way every time. Next came the cheap plastic anchors. I chose the smallest yellow one. These often come with other products, and I've never liked them and had a few of them fail on me. The package rating is 20 pounds, and the instructions say that I need to drill a 3/16" hole first. I had a feeling this was going to be way past the 20 pounds, but I was not prepared for a 67.52 pound failure. Like I said though, I've had these things fail on me. Usually it happens long after the anchor was installed. The bouncing caused by taking things on and off of them eventually causes the drywall to fail. Next up is the EZ anchor. I like the EZ anchor because it's easy. The anchor is its own drill bit and it just goes in easy. Put a screw in and you're good to go. And yes, I did say it was invasive, and so I was expecting a lot from this. But what I wasn't expecting was a fail of 110.9 pounds. Put 2 of these behind a mirror and you might really have something here. Going back now to the minimally invasive anchors, 3M command strips are one of the most popular. They use a kind of double back tape system, so when you take them down, there's absolutely no holes to fill in or repair. This one's rated at a 5-pound shear pull, and that's not very much. And then the tug of taking something on and off of it is going to stress it even more. With 3M command strips, it's important to follow the instructions carefully, but I want to give it a try and see how it performs compared to how it's advertised. After watching the explosiveness of the more invasive anchors, the 3M command strip seemed a little bit lackluster, but keep in mind it is far and away the least invasive of all the anchors, and it more than doubled its advertised shear pull at 11.28 pounds. Not bad. Next I tried the popular Ook brand hangers, another of the minimally invasive anchors. I chose the smallest of the Ook hangers, this one rated at only 10 pounds. The Ook hanger surprised me because the nail didn't fail, the drywall didn't fail, it was actually the hook that failed. The failure came at 14.55 pounds, which is over 50% more than advertised. Go, little ook. Another minimally invasive anchor is a newcomer to the field, and it's the High and Mighty brand. These anchors have two snake fang prongs that don't break through the back side, which may be good for keeping the integrity of the drywall. This one has a top and a bottom hook to hang from. My tester pulls up, so I'm pulling from the bottom hook. Rated at 20 pounds, the fail was 51.11 pounds. The upper hook was only slightly lower at 42.15 pounds. I decided to try a bigger High and Mighty. This bigger one has a double set of snake fangs that go into the drywall, and once again, they don't break through the back side. This one looks like a coat hook, similar to the command strip that I tried before. It's still rated at only 20 pounds, but it didn't disappoint at slightly over 71 pounds. I saved what I was sure was going to be the strongest for last. The toggle is a really old school anchor. They've been around forever. I chose a small one that's rated at 70 pounds. Toggles are one of the most invasive of anchors, and this one requires a 3/8 inch hole to be drilled first. Installing a toggle requires that you assemble everything before going into a wall. If you ever have to take the screw out, those set of wings are going to fall down inside the wall, and you'll have to start all over again with a new toggle. Now watch what happens. At a whopping 122.9 pounds, I guess you could say that the toggle never actually failed. It was my testing machine that failed first. My low-tech method of testing was a lot of fun, and it didn't take a lot of time and it didn't cost very much to do. Scientifically, there's a lot of problems here, and it could have been done a lot better. But I learned a lot, and I'm going to let you draw your own conclusions. There's always a variety of things going on here in the shop, so stop into openwoodshop.com to see what's happening. And right now, I think it's time for lunch.